Hey y'all, how y'all guys doing this evening? Welcome to Let's Face It Live show with your coach Shakima S. Perry. I know I had a short version of the intro. I actually, had another thing I was supposed to put up. I didn't put it up yet, so forgive me. But I'm super excited tonight. Just to let you guys know, I'm on a new computer, so I don't know if you see me clearer. Hopefully you do. I'm on a new computer. I got a blessing, praise God. So if you guys could do me a favor, when you guys jump on, please share this broadcast. I want other people to be blessed by what they're about to hear tonight. We got a great topic that we're going to be talking about. So go ahead and share this broadcast so other people can get into this. So this month, pretty much, I was on vacation for 2 weeks. So, this is the first show that I have done in the month of May. So this month I wanted to be like author's month. So, we talking about writing books, different things like that. I have an author coming on Friday to talk about her book and talk about, her struggles and different things that she has gone through and, things that she has wrote as well. So this is Authors Month. So the month of May is Authors Month. So that's what we're going to be talking about for the next 2 weeks until the end of May. Okay. So thank you guys for joining. If you guys, say hello when you come in. I would love to see who you are. Say hello to me. So I see Tony Woodley said, hey, thank you so much, Tony. Thank you for joining. All right, great. So tonight's topic is we are season 2, episode 40. The topic is why I struggled writing my first book. So that's the topic. Let me do this real quick before we start. Something I forgot to do. So just bear with me one moment. Hold on one second. Because what I do is I share in my groups so my other audience can see what's going on. So I'm trying to put it in there real quick. And we're going to start. All right. So we're done. All right. Great. So let me go ahead and get this show on the road. And also to let you know, we always talk about the purpose of the show. So what is the purpose of Let's Face It? So the purpose of Let's Face It is a show that will actually, we bring up topics, we bring up issues. So we give resolutions, right? We want to give you practical steps that you can take advantage of today or you can do today. So that's what we do. So that's what Let's Face It is about. I want to make sure that you guys have the tools and the strategies you need to move on to the next level in your life, business, or whatever the case may be, or whatever you're trying to accomplish. Because we about Let's Face It is about accomplishing a goal. So it could be a goal in business, it could be a goal in your personal life. So that's what Let's Face It is all about. Okay. So we're going to get into the topic. So you see the topic at the bottom, why I struggled writing my first book. So I'm going to go into what are some reasons people struggle writing their first book or writing a book, right? What are some of the reasons? So I got some reasons of why people struggle. So one reason is they don't believe they can do it. So it's a belief thing. So some people struggle with writing a book or first book. They don't believe they can do it. They don't believe they're worthy, or they don't believe that, oh, how can I be someone to write a book? Who am I? Right? So we start having these thoughts in our heads and making us doubt that we can write a book. Right? So that's something that people struggle with when it comes to writing a book. Right? That's one thing. The second thing I have is don't know what to write. Just don't have no idea. Like, what am I write about? What am I write about this? I'm write about that. Like, you kind of trying to figure out like what to write. What am I going to write about? Who am I to write a book? Well, what am I to write about? Right. So that's another struggle people have. Another one, and this is a big one, lack of money. So some of you guys may be struggling to write a book because you like, I don't have the funds. How I'm going to write my book? How I'm going to do this? How I'm going to do that? How I'm going to do this? So people struggle in that area of having the money. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? She said, hello. That is so true. I hear it all the time. Right, Jerry? Because Jerry, she pretty much helped people write books as well as myself. And she probably hear that all the time. Like, oh, I don't have the money. Where am I find the money? And it's so much strategy that you don't have to pay a whole lot of money to write a book. That's the reason why we have experts like Jerry, you have experts like myself that can help you to do those things, right? So people struggle in that. So they like, I don't, I don't have the money to do it. And the crazy thing about it, you don't even know how much it costs. So you like, I don't have the money. So that's something I dealt with. And I'm gonna get into my personal story, but it's like, you don't even know the cost of it. You like, oh, I have the money. You just basically cancel yourself out right there, right? I don't have the money. Another one we deal with is not sure where to start. So you don't have a strategy. How do I start writing a book? What am I supposed to do? What are the ins and outs of writing a book, right? What do I put first? What do I put second? What do I put third? So don't have the strategy to write. So people struggle in that. So that's why they don't write books or write their first book. Another one, lack of help. They feel like they need help. I need somebody to walk me through this. I need somebody to do this for me. I can't do this by myself. So some people lack help. So that's why they don't start, right? Another one, fear of the book not being successful. This is the last one. Fear of the book not being successful. This is a big one because when you put all your time, I'm gonna take this down for a minute. When you put all your time and effort in writing this book, 100 page, 50 page, whatever amount of pages you write, right? And you don't get sales right away, or you put it out there and people don't want it, right? That's a hit to the heart. That's a hit to the ego, right? That's a hit to your pride, right? Because you like, oh my God, I'm gonna do all of this work, and what if it does not sell, right? Jerry said, you're hitting the nails on the head. Thank you, Jerry. See, she knows. She's been in this business longer than I have. So it's like, that's pretty much what people face when it comes to writing a book. Like, what if I don't sell any books? So it's like, you feel like, why do I have to go through all of this process, get all these strategies, get help, all these different things, and I don't sell anything, right? But what if you don't do it, right? So I don't want to get into the resolution, but what if you don't do it and you do, right? So you got to think about those things. But I'm going to get into the resolutions. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to actually, I'm going to go into my personal story, something that I struggle with, because the whole point of this show is I told you why I struggle writing my first book. So I'm going to give you some information on that. So watch this commercial and we'll be right back. Purpose to Promise Academy, where lives are changed and dreams come true. Learn how to write and publish your book. Learn how to fix and manage your credit, so you can finally get the home of your dreams. Visit us at purposetopromise.com. Okay, great. So we're back. So we're going to go into the resolutions of each topic we talked about, but I'm going to go into my own personal story. So I like sharing my own personal story because it allows you to relate to myself. You're like, okay, I'm not the only one struggling. Shakima struggled. I'm a second time author. I have 2 books already out. Next year I'm writing my 3rd book. So it's like I've been doing, I'm doing multiple books now, right? So I want to share my personal story when it came down to me writing my first book, right? So my first book, which I do have here, is The Mind Regulator. So this is my book, The Mind Regulator. So this is my life story, right? So what happened was, at first, I was going to write, like years ago, maybe 2014, I was going to write a totally different book. I wrote like 2 pages on my computer and I stopped, right? Because it was like, I didn't know nothing about writing no book. And I was just like, oh, let me try. And I did 2 pages and stop. I don't know, like, what's the strategy? What's the ins and outs of writing a book? So I did it for a couple, I did 2 pages, stop. Then fast forward 2015, someone actually prophesied a word to me and said, Shakima, the Lord told me to tell you to write your book, write your story. So I was writing a totally different book. And then someone comes in and say, write your story, right? And I really felt my story is very insignificant. I didn't feel like it was going to help anybody. I didn't feel like, that's what we go through when it comes to, like, if you're interested in writing your story, right? Or you're interested in writing a book, we feel like, oh, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody's going to be impacted by that. So those are the things I was thinking of in my mind in 2015. Like, oh, nobody's going to want to know about what I've been through. Nobody's going to be blessed by that. It's not a big story. It's like I wasn't on crack, and I wasn't a prostitute, or I wasn't, someone that did this. I wasn't promiscuous, or I was, I felt like other people's stories were more real or more impactful. That's how I looked at my story, right? I looked at it was insignificant. It wasn't significant. It was insignificant. So that's how I view my story. So in 2015, I did not write my book. Fast forward 2018, someone else comes in and prophesied a word to me about writing a book. And it felt like the Holy Spirit was tugging on me. He was like, you got to write your book. 3 years later, you got to write your book. So I was like, 2018, I was like, okay, God, you tell me to write this book. I'm going to go ahead and write it, right? I didn't have no money. I didn't know how much a book costs. I didn't know how much a publishing on costs. I didn't know anything. But he told me to write it. So I was like, okay. I just took a regular, like a notebook like this. It was probably like a notebook, maybe like this, or any type of notebook, or something like this, or like a composition notebook, right? Something like this or whatever. I just started writing. I didn't have I had no chapters. I had I was just writing my story. That's it. Like from the beginning to like maybe 2017, 18, right? That's the time frame I was in, right? I didn't have no chapters. I didn't have no setup or what's the title page, what's this table of contents, who's going to do this. I didn't know nothing. I just started writing, right? So I started writing this book, and I wrote the whole book in 30 days, right? So I wrote like a certain amount. I think I wrote like 30 minutes in 30 minutes a day or something like that. So I wrote the book in like 30 days, right? So that's a tip right there. So I wrote the book in 30 days, and I said, okay, I wrote the book, right? So I wrote it in a book, right? A regular book. Then start putting on my computer and start doing things like that. Then I started to look for a publisher. Okay, how much this is going to cost? How much that going to cost? I had no money. This reminds you. I'm reminding you. I didn't have any money. None at all, right? But I still was doing it. So sometimes you still got to do it even though you don't have the funds. You got to believe by faith that something is going to open up, or you may get a strategy is not that much. Because right now I published my first book, and I paid way less than half to publish my second book than to publish my first book, like way less than half. So I didn't know that strategy at the time, but all I knew is let me look for a publisher, let me do this, let me do that. So I struggled at the beginning because, like I said, I thought my book was insignificant. Let me tell you guys something. What you have to share with people, either your life, or it could be a sci-fi, it could be something like you could be the next Harry Potter. Okay. Your book could be it could be so good. Someone say, I want to make that a movie and I will fund it. You don't know what your book can do, right? You don't know what your book can impact. Your book, it can impact the world. It could be major on a major platform, a major scale. Somebody can pick it up and say, hey, I want you to just come, just travel with me and I'm going to pay you $100K. Like, you don't know what your story can do. So what I did was, like I said, I got my book published, put it out there. I did like a pre-sale, a pre-order, and everything. I sold literally, probably right now, it's probably more now than it was. I have a class that says I sold over $3,000 worth of books. I actually sold like probably 4,000, almost 5K worth of books. Okay. At this point now, but at the time, sold over $3,000 worth of books. Right. So y'all guys probably thinking like, oh my God, how does she do this? How does she sell this? How does she do this? Let me tell you something. The first thing that I did was start. I started with a book and wrote. I didn't know all the ins and outs. I didn't know how it's going to turn out. I didn't know this is going to happen. That's going to happen. I just started. The first step you guys have to do, you have to start. Okay. And how you start is you figure out what you want to write. right? You figure out like, okay, I want to write my story. I want to write this. Try to figure it out. Meaning, what you're passionate about. You could be passionate about baking, right? You can write a book on baking, like baking cakes, whatever you're passionate about, right? So I know that my story was very significant. It wasn't it's insignificant, very significant. So I had to write my story, right? So find out what you want, what to do, what you want, actually write. Once you find that, start. And that's what I had to do. So that's my story when it came to me writing my book. I had to get out of myself, stop being fearful about I don't have the money, it's not going to sell. Those are thoughts I felt too. Like, is my book going to sell? Is anybody going to want it? Am I going to do this and I'm going to do that? It was the same things going through my mind, and like the things we talked about. But I had to make a decision today to say, I'm going to start writing it, right? Once you make that decision, start writing it. Don't delay no more, because your book is going to impact so many people, your story. And I would suggest to write your story. Maybe not your first book, but I would suggest to anybody that had a very traumatic life, or God delivered you and you're out of a situation, you have a testimony, write your story. Your book can actually save a life. Your book can help somebody from committing suicide. I remember someone told me one time that my book really blessed them to a point that it gave them a breakthrough. They changed it. It changed their whole life. Your book is meant to change lives, to impact the world, not just a person, but the world, right? So that's my story. Let me get into the resolutions of what we talked about. So the first thing we talked about was don't believe they can do it. So we talked about the issues that people have with writing their book. They don't believe they can do it. Let me tell you something. You can do anything you put your mind to. Anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's negative. Like, I'm not saying that to do anything negative, but when people want to rob the bank, they're going to put a strategy together and rob this bank, right? So if somebody can take something negative and go through with it and be successful in it, even though it's not something to do, you can go ahead and start your book and believe that you can do it. Why? Because I even thought in myself, I never thought myself to be a writer. I was like, I'm not no writer. What the heck? When I was growing up, I hated even reading books. I'm just being honest. I'm being straight up honest. I didn't even want to read no books. Like, I used to read books. Like, the teacher told me to read books and I read a little bit and I throw that book to the side. I probably didn't finish no books when I was a kid. I never thought myself to be a writer. And you may think the same way. You may say, I don't think myself to be a writer. I thought the same way. I'm an author of 2 books. 2. You want to see? Boom. 1. 2. I never thought I was a writer. You ain't got to be somebody that's so like you was like you grew up writing journals, or you grew up doing this and you grew up loving books to be an author. I didn't love books. I didn't care for writing at all, but I'm an author. Why? Because after the Lord pushed me and say, Shakima, do this, I started to realize I'm a good writer. Somebody even told me, Shakima, you are such a great writer. You're a good storyteller. I'm like, I didn't know that. These are gifts. You got gifts inside of you that needs to be pulled out, right? So believe in yourself. Believe you can do anything that you put your mind to. The next one, don't know what to write about. I said that before. Write about your passion. What do you love to do? What's the thing that you like, man, I would do this all day. Like, with me, I love coaching, right? I will coach, write a book about coaching. You a coach? Write a book about coaching. This is the strategies of coaching. This is what I learn in coaching. These are the do's and don'ts of coaching. I don't care. Write something. Right. Okay. Write something that you're passionate about. It's going to sell. Why? Because you are the strategist. You are the specialist in those areas, right? You are the specialist in your story. So it's going to sell, right? So you don't know what to write? Write about your passion. Another thing, lack of money. Money's going to come. Money is going to come. Trust you me. You start writing, putting your pedal to the metal, putting your hands to the plow, you're going to see that money's gonna start coming in. Like, oh, where that money come from? How come? Oh, sure, I got money over here. Oh, sure, I could use this money. Oh, yeah, you got money probably somewhere you don't even know it. You're like, oh my God, I could have used this money for my book. Start. Money is going to come. God's going to bless you with the funds. That's what he did for me. He's going to bless you with the funds. I had no money writing my book. And then after I finished writing my book, like not even finished writing my book, money started coming. You're going to get the money. So just start, right? So you don't lack in money. You are abundant in money. Another thing, not sure where, let me see, hold on, let me make sure. Okay, matter of fact, we're going to take another commercial break. And when we get back, I'm going to get the rest of the strategies. I'm going to give those to you as well, okay? I hope you're loving the show. Type like in the comments if you're liking what you're hearing. And we're going to jump into commercial. We'll be right back.
This was me fighting for my life. I lost my mind, but I did not know how to get it back. I had to step it up and fight back with the only strength I knew I had. Find out how it all turned out. Get your signed copy today. Go to GleeBargainCenters.com.
All right. Thank you for hanging on in there. And Nehemiah said, like, thank you, Nehemiah. So you're going to jump back into it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is, okay. So not sure where to start, right? So you don't have a strategy. You don't have a step-by-step strategy on how to create your book, right? So with this scenario, a lot of times, I guess it kind of coincides with the lack of help, but a lot of times strategy is more so when you start writing your book. What I did was, this is what I did with my first book, because I didn't have anybody to help me. I'm just being honest. I have nobody help me. I started writing it. So once I started writing my book, then I started putting pieces together. Okay, what chapter goes with what, right? So I started putting those pieces together, wrote the book, and then a lot of times it has themes in between. So I'm like, okay, this is a good theme for the book, or this is a good chapter. Then I started looking at other books and different things like that. So it's different strategies I started doing, just kind of just starting out. Like I didn't have any help at the time. But now, later on, I started getting help. So I'm able to even go deeper because now I'm able to self-publish. So that's another level. So I started to just started writing, and then starting putting one and two together, looking at other books, getting different things like that. So you can find strategy and also do your research, how to start a book, take classes, things like that. That helps you to kind of get a strategy together, right? Another thing, lack of help. So that would be something with you may be the type of person you want someone to walk you all the way through. Like I know people that I have, because I have classes on books, and I'm going to share that with you in a bit. That it's a do it yourself. So some people are like, I'll do it myself. Just give me the information, I'll do it myself, right? But some people just need help. Like I need a step-by-step guide. I need you to walk me through, like Shakima, I need you to walk me through this, right? So sometimes you need that one-on-one. You need that step-by-step, what to do, how to do it, things like that. So you can get that. I mean, I offer that service. Other people, Jerry offered that service. So many different things that you can do, that you don't have to be in a place that you don't have help. You can always find help, okay? That's what the internet's for. That's what this show is for. That's what, people that you meet on Facebook is for. People can help you to do things. So don't ever think that you're lacking that. Okay? So help is here. I'm your help. Other people that you probably saw that wrote books, they your help, So don't ever think that you're not in a place of lacking of help, because help is here, right? The last thing, and this is something that some people don't even start because they fear, they have that fear mindset of, what if my book doesn't sell? Let me tell you something. I had that in my mind. I said, that's the reason why in 2015 I didn't write my book, because I was like, who wants to hear about me? Like, who am I? And that was that was insecurity. Like I was insecure about my story. I was insecure about my process. And let me tell you something, whatever you write, even if it's not your story, right? Whatever you decide to write, as long as it's helpful and is going to actually help someone to resolve an issue that they're having, let me tell you something, your book will sell. And it will probably sell on levels that will blow your mind. Because the amount of books I purchased, and I literally, all of the books that I purchased originally, and I brought a whole lot of books, they basically almost gone. Yes, I wrote it in 2019, but they're almost gone. So don't ever feel that your book is not going to be successful, especially if you're writing something that's going to help someone else. Even, I'm going to break it down like this, even sci-fi books, they're like, well, what if I want to write a sci-fi book? Or it's like a fiction book, right? What if I want to do a fiction book? Now, fiction books are not real, but some people like fiction books. Some people want to read a book to get out of the reality of life sometimes. Like when you go fiction and go through this whole thing, like, like sci-fi or, a fiction book that's not real, you just writing a story. People love stuff like that. I used to read fiction books. When I was younger, I used to read it wasn't the best books to read. That's when I got a little older and I was reading books. When I was a kid, I didn't like it. Called Be More Careful. So it's kind of like a book about, a man, woman getting together and, some stuff going on. So it was a bad book, but this particular author sold millions of copies, right? So if it's going to help somebody in the sense of just to get out of, not saying you should get out of reality, but meaning to get their mind off of stuff. There's a lot going on right now. So sometimes it's okay to write books like that. It's a right to write, but not sometimes, but it's okay to write books like that because, some people like stuff like that. You just don't know. You don't want to ever be in a position that you don't put your book out there and you could have sold millions of copies. Like I really believe, even the Mind Regulator, this book is going to be a movie, right? That's what the goal is. This book hasn't sold millions of copies, but it will. I know it will. God told me that, and I know it will. So you got to believe that your book is impacting the world. You got to see past your feelings. You got to see past, what you think it could be. Because what if you don't write your book? What if you don't? What if that person you were supposed to help that was going to committed suicide because of you? You got to go past what you feel. You got to go past what you think it may be. Because your book is not only about you, it's about others. You got to go past what you feel. You got to go past what you think it could be. You got to say, you know what? I'm going to write this book and it doesn't matter what people think, what they feel. It doesn't matter. I'm going to write this book because you're going to have an audience that's going to buy it. And I said audience because I'm from New York. Let me start one. I know I got that accent, but look, you're going to find an audience that's going to want your book and they're going to buy your book. I told you, I sold over $3,000, almost $4,000 worth of books. Trust you me, people are going to buy your book, especially when it's a resolving issue, right? Or it's helpful to them. It changes their life, or even just to get them out of reality of stuff. Sometimes people love fiction, but they love novels, all these different stuff. People love it. All right, Nehemiah say yes. Thank you, Nehemiah. So people love it, right? So don't ever think that what you're doing is not going to be successful, because it is. And also, what's going to make your book successful, you got to promote it. I know people that came out with books, never promote their book. Oh, I'm scared. What are you scared of? Oh, nobody's going to buy it. Okay, nobody's going to buy it because you ain't promoting it. Absolutely. Of course nobody's going to buy it. You ain't promoting that. That's pretty much, that's going to happen. So you got to make sure that you promote and you be consistent. So just in conclusion, you have to get over your fear with writing, and don't worry about the funds. God will supply as you walk by faith and take a chance to get your book out there to your audience. Like I just said, you have a whole world to impact with your gift. Okay. So be encouraged. And what I'm going to do is, if y'all guys have any questions, type your question in the comments, and I'm going to share some with you if y'all interested. I did a special offer. If you guys are ready to write your book, I did a very, this is actually worth almost $200 for this product. But I actually did a special price tonight. So if you want to write, publish, and sell your books, is a write, publish, and sell your books bundle. So it gives you do it yourself, write, publish, and sell $3,000 worth of books for only $99, right? This offer, like I said, is almost $200. You're saving $72 off of this offer. So it's $99. The coupon code is BB One Day Sale. And what that means is tomorrow at 12 midnight, or going into the Wednesday, this sale is over. So go to the website, which is bit.ly/book sales bundle. You can get it for $99 with coupon code is BB One Day Sale, which is book bundle 1 day sale. Okay. The savings is $72 off the original price. That's a great savings. Okay. $99. I mean, because really, be honest, it was $129. So I took an extra $30 off. So it was an additional sale. So it was already on sale, and I made another sale, $99 for today and tomorrow. It shows you how to write, publish, and sell $3,000 worth of books. It gives you sales strategies. So you have everything you need. So you have no excuse. You can write your book. You can learn how to publish your book and sell your book. Okay. So you have all the tools you need in this package. So it's bit.ly/book sales bundle for only $99 until tomorrow night. The code is BB One Day Sale. Save $72 off original price. Okay. And if you're interested in working with myself on a one-on-one, of course, it's going to be more than $99. Reach out to me, inbox me, let me know. You say, hey, Shakima, I like your sales bundle, but I hate doing stuff on my own. I can do it with you one-on-one. So inbox me and we can talk. Let me know if you're interested in working with me one-on-one. Okay. So check this out. So it looks like nobody have any questions. I'm going to share one more thing and I'm going to close out. And I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight. So if you're interested in being part of my show, okay, if you just want to be a part, you're like, hey, I could share something, I can, help the audience do something, let me know. Go to purposetopromise@gmail.com, email me, let me know what you want to talk about. If it benefits the show, you'll be on one of my shows this season. And if you have any show topics, send those as well. All right. So I'm going to jump off. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope it was knowledgeable. I hope it was encouraging. I hope you start writing your book. Okay. So don't forget, if you want to write your book, go to bit.ly/book sales bundle for only $99. BB One Day Sale. Check it out so you can start writing your book and go to the next level and become an author. Come on now. Don't you want to become an author? Don't you want that author title? I got it. Y'all got to get it. Let me stop playing. But anyway, but check it out. If you want to work on one-on-one with me, inbox me. I can give you some information. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Let's face it. Y'all guys have a great night. And what we gonna do, let's what? Face it. Have a great night. Thanks for joining. Peace.